Hello, it's Jody here, and I'm just going to quickly run through a little bit of a story about our crypto journey and why we joined the plan. All right, I do have to give this disclaimer just to make sure I cover my own butt. So this is not financial advice by any means. You're going to have to do your own due diligence, maybe consult somebody if you need to, because the information is maybe not relevant in your country. So you need to check all that out as well. And of course, the main thing is that past performance is never an indication of future results. So let's get that out of the way and get into it. We actually started in early 2018 on our crypto journey. So of course we had some mistakes and we had some wins. The first thing we ever did, thankfully, was being given some great information on what to set up to be secure. And I do share that inside of my Facebook group that I've started called Crypto Prep School, under Crypto with Jody. And basically we had gone and got onto buying crypto the right way, but we then went and invested into this sort of system that promised all the world and all of that. So we lost a few $100s because it wasn't a scam. It was more they had a really great idea, but they didn't get all their regulatory sort of aspects ticked off. So we did lose some money with that. But thankfully, instead of being really scared about crypto, we decided it is the way of the future. And so we didn't have much money. So we would literally just buy a little bit here or there in a total ad hoc way. It was like $20 here, $50 there. And it was just sort of every few months. So by the time 2020 came around, November 2020, our little crypto value was roughly about $2,500. And that's when a friend, who I'm still a bit dirty on because she could have told me this ages ago and I could have had the results she did. But anyway, she told me about interest earning crypto wallets. So rather than just leaving your money sitting in exchanges, we actually moved most of it, or pretty much all of it, over to the 𝐿𝐶𝑖us wallet. And that was before sort of the big boom at the start of 2021. So at one stage, we did actually have our portfolio nearly 4 times that. So it did reach almost $10,000, but then we had this massive dip again. So yeah, where things were at by the time the plan came around, we were really fortunate to be part of the first beta round, which released in June. And it was, we paid the beta price for it. I'm sure by the time this thing goes public, it's going to be a lot more expensive. But that was $2,500 and literally the best $2,500 we've ever spent, because we did have a lot of FOMO from some friends that had actually taken part in a private coaching, paying $10,000 to the guy who created the plan. We didn't have the money for that. I certainly didn't want to cash in all of our crypto to be able to do that. But we had been seeking passive income for a very long time. I mean, being digital nomads, house sitting our way around the world, and yeah, just freedom is a huge value. So anything to do with sort of having money work for us instead of us always working for money has always been the holy grail, or sort of something we've always been seeking. And of course, having had that little bit of experience in crypto, we loved everything about blockchain technology and have been learning more and more and more. I mean, even to the degree of getting involved in NFTs as well. So the only thing that worried us about the plan was whether we could actually follow rules, because we are rebels. We definitely like to do things on our own, but it's come to bite us in the ass as we've discovered these last couple of months. But to kind of explain what the plan is, it is a training program that outlines a set of rules and parameters for you to follow in order to create cash flow from your crypto assets as they wiggle up and down in value. You're never going to have to hand your money over to anybody. Nobody's going to be doing any investing for you. It's an empowerment program. You're going to learn how to do this and be in control of your own crypto and your own investments. So it is a strategy that enables you to take control of your crypto and put it to use in a slightly different way, but it's a very automated way, and it's likely something that you've never heard about before as well. So the guy behind it is Dan Hollings. So Dan has got a bit of a name for himself. He was the marketing strategist behind the success of the book and the movie The Secret. He has actually sold over $300 million worth of products on Amazon. And because of his success with Amazon, he's actually taught and developed software to over 20,000 Amazon sellers, like the third-party sellers. So he's helped a lot of people get started in business, in digital business, online business, work from anywhere business. It was only earlier this year that he started coming back out of his shell because he literally spent the last 3 years working out how to crack the crypto code and help his friends do the same. And it was his friends that actually decided to tell him or encourage him to put it together into a course. So we've been part of the beta program, and it's been amazing. So in the plan, he shares his highly tested set of rules, which he spent 3 years and over $5 million perfecting to set up automated grid bots that will actually produce results and cash flow on a daily basis. So this is not binary trading, it is not day trading, and it is definitely not some sort of MLM. You are completely in control of everything that you have within your own exchanges. So the plan is basically a way to capitalize on the volatility, or what we call the wiggle, of cryptocurrencies. So instead of thinking, volatility is bad, it's like volatility is actually an advantage if you know what to do with it. So whether the market is up, or it's sideways, or it's down, profits are still being made at this little tiny macro level, so like 20 cents, 30 cents, 50 cents at a time, and there can be hundreds, if not thousands, of transactions in a short period of time to actually add up to being very decent profits. So these things are happening automatically. You don't have to sit and watch them. In fact, the plan is for you to set and forget and do as little as possible, and just trust that these parameters and sets of rules are going to work for you, and they do. I'm now a couple of months into it, and as much as I've tried to change and reinvent the wheel, they do work. So basically half of our portfolio, or the plan is to have them in these trading bots, because not only do they have their asset growth, so whatever the coin is worth is it's wiggling, it's always sort of going up and down, but generally speaking with all cryptos, they're all going up over time. So you've got that value side of things, but it's actually earning daily profits that you can take out if you choose to. And you can even have your own strategy on how you take that out. Do you go and put some back into HODLs? Do you go and buy some other coins, or do you save it up to put on for another bot, or even just add money back into one of your current bots as well? Basically, with setting up 𝗏𝒏𝒏𝒏, which is the software, it's an interface that runs with the exchanges, and needing to get new exchanges set up as well, so accounts, that takes the most amount of time. Once you actually start the training course, you can be getting your demo bots on, which you really should be doing before even thinking about putting live money in, is putting demo bots on to start with, but let them run for a decent amount of time, and I'm sort of talking like at least a couple of weeks, if not even the full month. That was probably one of the mistakes I made, was getting too eager to put live money in. But yeah, there's a lot to do. So basically the sooner you can get into the plan, and even if there's a live training component, so right now we are in the beta 3 phase, the first lesson is going to be at the end of September, but you need all this 10-12 days to get these exchanges set up and go through the initial tutorials inside the members area, so that you can turn up to class ready to rock and roll, and by the second lesson have your demo bots on and just be blown away with numbers like this. So this was our first lot of demo bots, and they were crazy amounts. Well, the bots were producing profits that were like crazy, and they have here some average daily amounts like 0.89, 1.37, 2.38, 3.76, 2.33. It all comes down to timing. These things ran for I think the oldest one there is almost 3 weeks. And we jumped in quick, and our very, very first bot didn't do as great as what the demos did, but we also didn't wait for the timing lesson that was due to come out the week after we first went live. But if you want to actually see, like at the time of recording, 18th of September, we can go over and look at our bots live. And yeah, I just really need to kind of point out here as well, there's some information that I can't share because all students of the plan do actually sign a strict NDA to protect the intellectual property of Dan Hollings. He did invest a lot of time and a lot of money to put these parameters together, and he has got a software background and mathematical background, so he really really has put a lot of effort into this. It's been proven time and time again how powerful it is and just how many people are actually making amazing cash flow and growing their assets on a daily basis. So the Bitscap software as well that we do use to run these bots is not owned by Dan or the plan. He was just a customer of the software, and because he does have a programming background, he has been able to influence the software company with some features that he has requested to make life easier for not just himself but for everybody using it as well. So let's go over and have a look at my bots live right now. Okay, so before we actually go and have a look at my personal account, one thing that I have got is a bunch of people that I've recommended to the plan, and we call ourselves bot buddies. So we do actually, check in on each other. And there is an aspect to Bitscap that allows you to actually share your trades, what you're doing, but it doesn't actually give you access to the full account, which is really cool. So here's just an example of one bot, which is pretty much where most people start. You just want to start with your one bot having a $3,000 value put into the bot, roughly 3,000. It's not set in stone, but it's definitely the most optimized amount, and that's what Dan recommends getting started with. So this particular bot has been earning 0.73% average a day. If you need to see a calculator, let's open up and see what that equates to in comparison to, say, other investments. So if we multiply 0.73 by 30 days, you're looking at roughly 21.9% a month in interest. That's amazing. There'd be nowhere on the planet you could even probably get that other than what you pay on your credit card. So now if we actually see how much that is on roughly a $3,000 investment, you're looking at $657 for the month that $3,000 has earned you. Think of it like being in a term deposit in a bank. So it's like a fixed term deposit that you're going to get a set interest rate on. Not that this is going to be set, but this is just kind of like what is possible. If this bot maintains its 0.73% daily, then you're looking at that $3,000 pumping out $7,884 for the year, which is pretty cool. But is it going to happen? Who knows? One thing that Dan actually does teach is the importance of having a portfolio. So here in this Bitscap account, there's actually two bots running. So we're starting to get a portfolio just by literally having more than one so that you can kind of average it out. This is actually my mum's account. And yeah, she's just had an absolute winner with 2.59% daily on one of her bots and the other one at 0.43. So to do an average, to see what this would be earning over a 12-month period, let's bust out the calculator again. But this time, let's make it an average. So one's doing 2.59% daily for almost 3 weeks. We add that with the 0.43% for almost 3 weeks. And now we're going to divide by 2 because we've got 2 bots. So a portfolio average is 1.5% daily. Times that by 30. And you're looking at 45% for the month. That's incredible. Times that by, let's say it is two $3,000 bots, so roughly $6,000 by the 45%, and you're looking at $2,700 a month from just $6,000 being invested. So let's look at the next level of portfolio with 4 bots, and this is actually ours. So one of them is down at the moment, but it's still been spitting out a daily profit. So again, we'll do the averaging. This time we're going to add up 4 bots, and what have we got there? So 2 of them have been 20 days, so almost 3 weeks, and the other 2 have been a little bit less. But let's actually add them all up together. So we've got one doing 0.89% a day, one doing 0.37, one doing 1.11, and the last one's doing 2.32. Be great if they all did that, but they don't. So 4.69 divided by the 4 bots is 1.17 daily. Times that by 30 days, and we've got 35% for the month. Okay, remember it's for the month. So 4 bots at $3,000 a bot to start with, $12,000 invested, and we multiply that by the 35% for the month. We've got $4,200 for the month, and then we multiply that by the year, and we've got 50 grand for the year just off a $12,000 investment. Now, of course, again, the value could go up, could go down, could go sideways. It doesn't matter. These profits are being spat out. And if that was what the average was, just by having that larger portfolio where some might be down at 0.37 and some are way up there at, over 1 and if not even 2% on an average aspect. And last but not least, we're going to have a look at a 5-bot BitsGap account. So this is a friend of ours, and he's actually on the middle BitsGap plan. So the BitsGap plans are 2 bots, 5 bots or 15 bots. So he's on the middle plan with 5 bots. So let's do our portfolio average by adding up what each of his bots has been performing by saying 0.79 plus 1.08 plus the 0.93 plus the 0.75 and his little slow burner there at 0.32. So we've got 3.87 divided by 5 bots is 0.774 multiplied by 30 days on average, 23.22. So if there's 5 bots that got started with $3,000, it's $15,000 times 23.22%, $3,483 a month. Now let's multiply that by 12 months and we've got $41,796 for having roughly $15,000 invested. To have this make more sense, I saw this really great presentation by my friend Jason, who's actually the guy who recommended the plan to me. So it's kind of like this trust chain of, my friends and family have joined the plan because of me and I joined because of him. So he gave a really great analogy of investing in real estate where, say, you own the property, but the value might go down, the market might go down, but you're still earning your rent, even though you still own that property. So to get a bit clearer picture on how all these things work, I'll pass it over to Jason now.
Here's an example of a coin that I purchased, a cryptocurrency. I bought it up here, so I bought it high, and right now it's low, and I'm happy as a pig in mud, because it dropped from the high point to the low point in less than 2 days, in less than 48 hours. Wow, that's really volatile, right? But I made $200 in cash flow, not on paper, in pocket, in my own money, in less than 2 days as I watched this thing fall down. Because it didn't just go down. It went up and down, up and down, up and down on its way to down. And we take advantage of this with automation, with crypto bots, right? Now, to understand these crypto bots, let's do a quick analogy here, the apartment rental analogy. Let's say you bought 3 apartment units and they were $3,000 a piece. And then shortly after, you got them appraised and you found out you overpaid for them, that they all went down in value by 25%. The question here is this: how much money did you lose? It's a good question. You bought this asset for $3,000. It dropped 25% of its value. How much did you lose? It's a simple math equation. You take 0.25 times 3,000, and then you add that up 3 times, and that would be $2,250. But you didn't lose that money. You would lose that money only if you sold it. So it's down. It's on paper you've lost $2,250, but you really haven't. But remember, you bought these not just to flip them, buy low and sell high, right? You bought these because you were going to rent them out. And you found 3 tenants. And these 3 tenants, tenant 1 pays you $50 a day, tenant 2 pays you $40 a day, and tenant 3 pays you $60 a day. Okay? So while the value on paper has dropped 25%, you're cash flowing per unit $50 a day on average. You feel me? So there's 2 ways we make money with the crypto world. One is the value of the coin if it goes up, but the other is we make cash flow on the coin as well. So value is what's on paper. It could go up, it could go down, it could go sideways, whatever. Cash flow is what you put in your pocket. And wouldn't it be nice, with regardless of how much it goes up or goes down, within reason, every single day I put $50 in your pocket? Would you really care too much what price it is? Would you worry about selling it if it just constantly spit out $50 bills at you?
So if you are ready to take part in the plan, particularly if you're still seeing this in time to join in for the beta 3 round, then just go to Secret Crypto Plan. And by doing that, you are actually using my referral link, which means that I am here to help you through the whole entire process. So we have a fantastic Slack community. It's a group of us who are bot buddies, and we share the coin pairs that we find, the wins that we're having, and really just help each other out with all elements of being in crypto space. So if you do join and you are coming through my referral link, then reach out and let me know. Otherwise, I'll be reaching out to you and inviting you in so I can get you on board the right way, and have all your ducks lined up ready to start putting your live bots on as soon as possible. Thank you for watching, and just reach out if you have any questions. Bye for now.